Hey, good morning, everybody. This is Heather, the Butterfly Effect Raw Food Vegan Weight Loss. And it is Monday, and this morning I'm thinking about triggers. So, a trigger is something that you associate with doing something. So, a really classic one is you get in your car and you drive past a certain restaurant that you used to go to all the time, and you have that feeling like, I want to stop and get whatever. That's going to trigger you. Or a trigger might be if every day you sat down in front of the TV every evening with a bowl of popcorn and watched, television with your family. Then maybe turning on the TV and sitting on the couch makes you think, I really want a bowl of popcorn. And what's happening is you're associating the feelings that you have, the positive feeling of maybe watching a show you like or just relaxing and sitting with your family, with that bowl of popcorn. And you don't necessarily even want the food. What you want is that feeling, and just acknowledging that's really what you're going for. And so probably popcorn's one of the least bad things you could have on that couch, but you see what I'm saying. So there's nothing that says that we can't use this behavioral trigger to trigger good things. I love Melissa from Lissa's Raw Food Romance. If you're not checking out her channel, you should really do that, because Lissa has this awesome idea of creating positive triggers. So she has some certain raw food treats that she only has on, special occasions and things like that, to kind of associate the healthy food with that positive feeling. And we can do this in our everyday life. What was making me think of this was I'm just realizing how many triggers I have. So, for instance, I have a trigger of potlucks. Something about free food, forbidden food, new and different food. It gets that endorphin rush, because I was addicted to that excitement I would get when I would think I was going to eat my favorite food. That's what a food addict does. And so one tactic I've been using is I just have blinders on to that kind of thing at my office, especially because it happens a lot. And just kind of deciding beforehand what is a special occasion. I have 5 special occasions a year, and they're Valentine's, Easter, Christmas, Thanksgiving, and my birthday. That's it. And lately I haven't even wanted to go off my plan for any of the other holidays. I think on Valentine's Day I maybe had a piece of chocolate that wasn't a raw chocolate. On Easter I just stuck to a raw food plate. But what I could do is I could have some kind of a raw treat that's maybe just a little bit off my plan, but would not be all the way back to the disaster that I used to eat, and associate that with the holiday. But even taking that further, thinking about what makes an occasion special. Well, if you are going to see your family and your friends, that makes it special. If you are going to have some time off, that could make it special. There's so much about it besides the food that makes it a special occasion. So it's learning to get excited about the other things. And, when you do have those triggers, stopping and thinking, what is it that I really want? Because do I really want that food, or do I want the feeling that I associate with it? One of my triggers that I was noticing was going on long trips by car. Whenever I take a road trip, I used to associate that with going places and eating things. And now I'm trying to associate it with other things, like making a special playlist of songs that I like, that I can kind of rock out to when no one's looking at me, going down the road, thinking about who I'm going to see on the other end, thinking about the fun things that we're going to do when we get there, and not just about what I'm going to eat all the dang time. We can get so obsessed with what we eat. And I like what Tanny Ross says. She says anything she eats takes 5 minutes or so, because she's ready to get out of that kitchen and go be a conduit of life and love and light. So I love that idea. So much of my life was spent obsessed with food. I'm ready to experience some other things outside of my kitchen, outside of my head, outside of that obsessive compulsive kind of a loop where we live a lot of times. So what are your triggers? Have you ever thought of that? Some other techniques, just kind of going mental today, okay? So some other techniques is there are things that will trigger you, like a particular situation, like getting in your car, or getting on the couch to watch a show, or going to the movies is a huge one, right? I'm going to start bringing special snacks for myself at the movies, and maybe only have those snacks, when I'm at the movie. Something that is maybe something I wouldn't normally eat, but is a healthy food. So like a little almond butter in a date. That's like a special treat to me. Because I don't, go around eating almond butter, but I really like it. Something small, just a couple of those. Something that you can look forward to that can make it into a special occasion that can be associated with a healthy food that won't kill you. Because movie popcorn with all that fake butter on it, they say that's like a heart attack in a tub waiting for you. So we could think of things that would be good for us, that we would still think are a treat, and learn to like those, like nice cream, which is just frozen bananas with whatever you want on top of it or mixed into it, is incredible. It is so good. If you haven't tried that, that's like one of the best tricks of the raw food world. Anyway, so those are some kinds of trigger things. Another thing is, sometimes something will be something that you've been craving and are kind of obsessed with. And so then, again, got this from Lissa's Raw Food Romance. You can do a visualization if you just can't stop thinking of something, like pizza. I want pizza. I gotta have pizza, and I don't want raw pizza. I want the kind of pizza that has cheese and, meat on it if you were a person that craved meat. And you don't choose to have those things anymore. And so, but you could just go through a whole exercise in your mind of, okay, I'm getting it from the delivery person, and I'm opening the box, and I'm smelling the smell of the cheese and the pepperoni or whatever toppings are your favorite toppings, and then pulling it out of the box and visualizing, like bringing it up to your lips and blowing on it and inhaling that smell again, and tasting it, and tasting all the different flavors of the tomato sauce and the oregano, and you taste the cheese and the greasy feeling, and go through that whole exercise in your mind where it's really vivid. as vivid as you can make it. Okay, and what's going to happen is your brain is going to think you already ate it. You can actually trick your brain into having the pleasurable sensation without having the food. And they've done this study with people with M&Ms. They gave them a big bowl of M&Ms in the first group. They first had visualized, eating an M&M and putting it up to their mouth and rolling it around in their tongue and tasting the chocolate and just being really, really specific and visualizing and using every sense in your imagination to really experience eating that M&M. Then the other group, the control group, they just put a big bowl of M&Ms in front of them. But interestingly, the group that had the visualization experience of having the M&Ms, they barely ate any actual M&Ms. And the reason why is, in their mind, they already had. They didn't even want it anymore. So you can use this to your advantage. I use that when I feel obsessed with a food, and sometimes that's going to be, pizza or whatever. Okay, then the third thing is when something just catches you off guard, you weren't expecting to see it, or somebody's eating something and you get a whiff of it and you're like, I want that. And it's just like an instant craving. Nothing you've been obsessed with, but you just get that instant hit of that. That's when you have to kind of talk to yourself. And I just, one of the things I do is I tell myself, you know what that is? That's just pretty poison. That is just poison that's been made to look good. Because you think about it, you can take whatever your favorite food is, take that big pizza or whatever. If I spray a can of Raid all over that pizza, there is no way you're going to eat it. There's no way. If I throw that in the garbage and there's gross things in the garbage, you're not fishing it out of the garbage to go get that. It's ruined to you. And so if you kind of think of that food as being poisoned, or just, being poison in your body, because it really is. I mean, it's not even a stretch. It may not have a can of Raid on it, but it probably has so much pesticide residue that it might as well have a can of Raid on it. And so just reminding yourself, hey, that might look like food. That's not food. That's poison. For me, that really helps. That really helps just shut it right down and bring it back to food. So I think that's enough for today, but if you haven't checked out Lissa's Raw Food Romance, I'm going to put it on the bottom. And I hope you guys have a wonderful Monday, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Remember, small steps taken every day add up to big results, and I hope you get some big results. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.